We're rolling around the city here, Southern California. I'm back. I'm here with Big T. He's a subscriber.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just want to thank him, publicly for picking me up. We just grabbed some sushi. We might stop by Starbucks and grab a cup of coffee, make a left. And really, the struggle as men is to keep a positive attitude. He was sharing with me some concerns and some struggles. We won't go into personal detail. But, the economy is hitting, men in particular hard. And when you wake up from the zombie-like consumer 9-to-5 corporate, wasteoid life, you are really in a difficult place because you feel called to either live in your van, travel the country, buy an RV, become a vagabond. But at the same token, you have girlfriends, you have wives, you have families, you have people that love you and care about you, and it's this constant pull on your psyche. And I was telling him, you're not the only one with challenges. I struggle. I have all sorts of struggles. And I was just encouraging him that, don't put yourself down, don't be negative, because all that's going to do is lead you to a negative space. So he was saying, George, you got the perfect life, you don't pay mortgage, you don't pay rent, you don't pay utilities, you don't have a car payment.
Traveling, family.
I'm traveling. He thinks a lot. I have a loving family. I have good friends off of the internet. And I was trying to tell him that every day is a challenge for me. On this channel, there's a lot of people that put me down. They call me names and say that I'm not an accomplished individual because I'm not a part of the corporate 9-to-5, so to speak.
Rat race.
The rat race. And I guess it just depends what your perspective is. What I do is I wake up every morning and I give thanks to God that I am alive. And my situation isn't optimal. It's not perfect. I struggle, and I just wanted to let you know that you're not the only guy going through struggles. I mean, every single guy out there, man, is going through a tough time.
That's true. That's true. I appreciate your words. I do.
Yeah, man. Everyone's having trouble paying the bills. The mortgage, you mentioned that. Making those payments. Yeah, straight ahead. Getting along. You can just cruise. You don't have to go too fast. I mean, getting along with people that you live. I ran into that problem too, man. I was up there with EP, and we had a huge argument about this homeless dude, and how to approach it. So I don't know. What's your thoughts? What is the source of the angst here? I mean, maybe you can just distill it. What are you worried about? What's the stress?
I think, especially when you're younger, you feel like you have so much time. Time is your friend when you're young.
Yeah.
And you're not worried. You're like, oh, later, I can do it later. As you get older, and especially as you reach your mid-30s and even to 40, you start really panicking, and there is no more saying next year, 5 years from now, or 3. You feel like you already had to have it done, and that's a big pressure if you're not at a certain level in your 30s and your early 40s.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you some unconventional advice. You don't have to go this fast. You can slow down. A lot of people are telling me that there's women in their 40s that are they're not in a hurry to get married. They think they're going to be able to have kids. And the same thing with guys, they're not in a loving relationship and they're getting older, or they haven't established themselves in a career, or sometimes it's guys in their 20s, they just can't get a job. And I'm telling them that, hey, sometimes it's okay to give up on the construct that is put before us. In other words, not everybody has to have kids. Not everybody has to have married. Not everybody has to have a career.
Right.
You can live a full life.
Sure.
You can pursue a hobby. You can volunteer your time. You can sit on top of a mountain and meditate. You can read books. Just because you are not successful in marriage, family, friendships, or career doesn't mean that your life has no meaning and you can't have some sort of enjoyment. And in fact, one guy that I met recently, he had trouble keeping a job. I said, hey man, maybe you should just take a break from working. Maybe, there's different programs out there where you can volunteer. I know a program in Chicago, it's kind of like a seminary. You can go join it, hang out with a bunch of cool guys for a year or two, have no pressure. They give you food, dormitory, there's all sorts of stuff like that. If you just want to drop out, you know, you can just drop out of society and rethink it. Think what's important to you. But what you were saying before is there's a lot of pressures.
A lot of pressures, you know. And
to
again,
conform.
The time just flies by. It goes by so quick, and if you don't have your stuff together at certain points, you know, key ages are, I'd probably say, you know, maybe 30, 40, you know, it's just...
yeah, this whole judgment thing.
There's a lot of pressure from society, basically, to...
Society judges people to manipulate you.
You're supposed to be at this level,
yeah,
at this age.
They want you doing this for this amount of time,
make this
so
much
that way
money.
make this much money, so that way you can be a contributing member of society. It's all social pressure to conform.
Lots of it.
But the thing is, about 80 to 90% of the people in the world are not doing anything that's going to help progress of human beings. They're all just running. We're all just running around. You know, sure, you're saving money, building up equity in your home, but we're all engaging in an outmoded society. This is an industrial-based society, and it's no longer needed, man. This is all no longer needed. And if anything, I've been put here on the planet to just encourage people to take a time out and think about, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why do you have to focus on chasing that gold watch? You may not have to.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can drop out, join a hippie commune, for God's sakes. It doesn't really matter. When it's all said and done, we're going to be buried in the ground. They're going to put a gravestone, and it won't matter. It won't matter. So do where you're called. Go where you're called. Who do you love? Who do you want to be with? Where do you feel peace? Where do you feel serenity? You were telling me you feel serenity around the campfire at the beach. Well, do whatever you can to get there. You know, do whatever you can. Wherever you find your peace, just go. I mean, next year, man, I'm going to get my license back. I'm going to take that minivan, and I'm gone, man. I'm going to be at the beach full time, pursuing my dream, which is, you know, hanging out in the ocean, communing with nature, communing with God's creation, maybe spending some time in Hawaii. I'm going to probably travel Southeast Asia, too. I mean, I have a lot of connections. I can do stuff over there. And why not, man?
Like
you know, my kids...
It's not going to matter.
Yeah, my kids are getting a little older. When they get a little older, I'll be able to take off for not just weeks at a time, but months at a time. I mean, that's the goal. And if they want to come with me, hell, man, I'll say, get your backpack, let's go get a bike, and let's go tour Europe. So I told my oldest daughter, I'm like, hey, we'll take out 3 months. I'll show you how to camp all around Europe for almost nothing. And we'll have a great time. I'm talking adventure. That's what I want my life to be. Adventure, seeking the new experiences, making the new friends, challenging people. And you know what? People just put me down left and right. And you know what? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
Well, what it is they're angry and frustrated because they can't get out of this job, you know, this daily, whatever, matrix, paradigm, whatever you want to call it. But they're frustrated. That's what it is. They want out. They really want out. Nobody wants to have to go to slave every 5-6 days a week, 8
Then just
hours
don't.
a day.
Then just don't.
A lot of people
find out another alternative. There's always options.
They're so burdened by debt, though. That's another problem. That the debt keeps you into that.
Get out of debt. I'm debt free. I recently was on this wealth site, and basically with the little money I have, and the fact that I'm debt free, I'm in the top 1%. Or top 5% in income and wealth in the world. I mean, we are so grateful to live in America. Even with very little money, you can be in the top 10% of the world very, very easily with just a little bit of income.
That's true.
Because we have so much available here. And
the poor people here are rich.
Yeah. So don't be negative. Let's be positive. Let's all come together and let's figure out ways to get together, whether they're communes or maybe they're survival camps. I know there's a guy in Portland that's putting together something like that. We need to come together, guys, and support each other. So no more negative comments. Let's be positive, guys, and let's support each other. God bless. Peace out. Take care.